Over the years, I've talked about video game censorship and how unfortunately as adults, we're not allowed to decide what content we want to consume because companies ban games and force developers to censor content or their titles won't be allowed to release on their platforms. And two of the main companies that I talk about are Sony and Valve because they have gotten very strict, but it seems Nintendo might be rethinking their approach of allowing basically anything on the Switch because a new lewd shoot-'em-ups has been rejected because of the adult themes that it has. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and to the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month, or support the channel via YouTube memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I was tagged in this thread a few times. It says, we're happy to announce that Hot Tentacles Shooter will be released on September 9th, which is today, on Nutaku Games. A shoot-'em-up full of lewd where you need to save a whole repertory of lovely girls from the evil monsters. And I didn't know why I was being tagged in this thread. I watched this trailer and it actually looks pretty freaking good. This is a title that I would purchase to play in my free time and maybe even stream once or twice, but unfortunately, the reason why I was tagged in this thread is not just because the game looks good. Continuing on, it says, we are having some problems with both the Steam and the Switch releases. For Steam, it will be released pretty soon. We just sent the game for review. And for Switch, it looks like Nintendo is increasing their restrictions about what can be published or not on their consoles. We sent the game for review about a month ago and haven't received a review yet, but what we received was an email entailing that maybe the game will not fit the console policies. So for now, we are awaiting a response and hoping that it doesn't escalate for future games. Now, this was very sad news to hear for a lot of reasons. Now, when it comes to Steam, I could see this game getting banned on the platform. While I do use Steam and I do appreciate Steam, unfortunately, yes, they have gotten very, very picky on what is and isn't allowed on the platform. But when it comes to Nintendo, that's where the worry really starts to kick in. I have been praising Nintendo for the past few years because they've allowed basically anything onto the Nintendo Switch, but unfortunately, that could be changing. Now, there is still hope for this game because they didn't get an outright rejection, but from what we're hearing, it doesn't seem like it'll be joining the platform at least anytime soon. And there have been other people posting about this. Yogensha had tweeted, if things keep going like this, there won't be a platform left for ecchi titles. Unique storefronts and separated libraries maybe, but that will heavily hurt sales and push devs to censor for a wider sales range on more restrictive platforms, which is true in a situation I do regularly have to talk about. While yes, they can go to other platforms and they can put their content on other platforms, they ultimately want sales. They want their games to reach as many people as possible, so they want them on as many platforms as they can put them on. Now, going to the comment section, I wanted to read just a few of the responses. People are saying things like, for now, I'd like to think it's just about age ratings. Nintendo's policies is that as long as the game acquires a relevant age rating, it can be released. For this game, I can't find any information beside that it is region locked on Steam, which means Steam considers it adult only, which is true. This could be the case, which would be awesome if they finally get the official rating, then Nintendo will instantly approve it, but we don't know. Y'all again just said fingers crossed, but considering how Massage Freaks went, I am a little jaded, and I definitely agree there. Users are saying things like, shame, Nintendo was seeming to relax restrictions before, seems like they've begun to return to their old habits. We can cross our fingers that that isn't happening because I have appreciated Nintendo over the past few years and I really don't want this to happen, but I don't really trust companies anymore. No matter how many good things they do, they can always change their direction and start censoring games and start forcing developers to tone down their content. Another comment said, as much as I want to say I'm not surprised over and over again, I just don't give a fuck anymore. There's no point for me to be interested in anything niche anymore since the far left and corporations dictate everything now, so it's pointless since it's gotten worse every year. And someone commented, I feel you on this. I'm tired of investing my time, energy, and fandom on something just to have it shit on, sanitized, and used for ulterior motives or personal crusades. I'm tired of feeling like we're constantly being manipulated, and I'm so very tired of everything I love fall. And back all the way in 2019, the Nintendo president had confirmed the company had no intentions of censoring games released on their platforms, and ever since then, they've done a pretty great job. This article says Nintendo confirmed at a recent shareholders meeting that there are no plans for the company to censor games released on their platform. And the last time that I had to talk about Nintendo specifically censoring anything in a game was back in February of 2021, where we found out that Pyra and Mithra's appearances were a bit censored in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It says Nintendo has made it a fairly consistent point over the years to make Smash as family-friendly as possible, and indeed both of these characters are wearing a bit more covered up than usual, as developers added some tights over both fighters' traditionally more exposed legs and completely censored Mithra's chest. Even so, their Smash designs came out stunningly good, and we've got a few stills from the Smash Ultimate's homepage for you to appreciate today, and I did talk about this when it happened. I was disappointed that they decided to do this. A lot of people understood why they did it because, again, as this article points out, they have tried to make Smash Brothers as family-friendly as possible. It was still disappointing to see these great characters toned down, though. But this was the last time that Nintendo themselves actually censored content or censored outfits or really anything specifically in a game. And I have talked about developers deciding to release censored content on the Switch, but that wasn't because Nintendo forced them to. This was back in April. Pocky and Rocky Reshrined confirmed censored on both PlayStation 4 and the Switch for the West. They decided to basically put the censored version on both of the platforms, but again, this wasn't because Nintendo told them to. It says the censored trailer for Pocky and Rocky Reshrined was a sign of things to come, as screenshots for the Western version of the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch edition censored Ame no Uzume's cleavage in the game. The Japanese releases both thankfully allowing the women's breasts to be visible. The Amazon store pages for both the Switch and the PS4 versions of the Western release had a screenshot of a cutscene with her and depicted her chest in a covered-up state. Like I pointed out, the publisher has said that it is not fully banned on the Switch yet, so we can hope that it will still come to the Nintendo Switch uncensored and in all of its glory, but right now we just have no other information. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. If you enjoyed it and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.